Hey everyone. So on Thursday's live, I'm going to have two topics I'm going to cover, and that's one is success on the road, being prepared, and how to handle things. And the other is going to be about results or relationship, and which should be your bigger goal and which is more important to you. But this is going to be one of the questions. I have about 8 questions so far for a live Q&A on Thursday. And again, if you give me your questions before Thursday, I'm more prepared rather than trying to read the text messages during the live, because if it's a short question, I can see it, but if it's a long question, it's hard to see it in the live feed. So if you have any topics or questions, please ask me in advance. That would be awesome. If you can think of it, I'm happy to cover anything everybody wants to talk about. So again, in the beginning, when you're training, this is a horse I had in training. She's a big Appy mare. She's like 16 hands at just barely come in her 4-year-old year. And so I had her in for basics in her 3-year-old year, and I was just starting her on the pattern her 4-year-old year. And just at home, we hadn't even started hauling her for exhibitions or anything yet. This is just after some basics and then teaching the pattern, okay, after basics and drills, and she was doing all my drills good at a lope. So I started showing her the barrels at a walk, trot, and a lope. So I think this is like one of her very first lope throughs. So I wanted to show you where I would ask for the lead change. Now, I don't want to get any horse dependent on circles before I run, because you can't always circle everywhere you go inside the arena. Sometimes there's not room because of the timer and the length of the arena, and other times it's not allowed. But if you need to like do one little circle in a trot like that, get their lead and then go, it's great. And if they took the wrong lead, you could always go back and get that circle again and go again. But the key is to never pass your third barrel when you take off. So make an imaginary line from the alleyway, or if there's no alleyway, lined up with third, and always take off when you're on that side of it. Okay, so if it's a really narrow pin, you can be dead on with third, but you don't ever want to be on the opposite side of third barrel, because you're wasting real estate, and then you're going to cause more strides of rate and swinging of the butt when you get to the barrel. All right, so as you can see, she takes off on the right lead, the correct lead, and I'm sitting forward, give her about 1 inch of slack and letting her know I want her to go. Then right when I get here, because she's a baby, I sit on her pockets about 2 or 3 strides out, and I start preparing her with 2 hands and my seat being balanced, and just have a slight contact on the rein so she knows to come back to me. Then I go to the horn, and right here, now she's a young mare, and mares don't always ring their tail because they're in pain. Some mares will ring their tail or switch their tail because they're excited or nervous because they're learning something new. So as you can see, I give her a nice pocket. She's a really big horse, like I said, so I try to come in with about a 4-foot pocket, okay? And then right there's her first stride around, so I'm just letting her work, guiding her, and then look how nicely she finishes and comes back to me. So this mare ends up being a very rollbacky horse on first, and then more 4-wheel drive on second and third as she progresses. So we had to really focus on keeping her moving 4-wheel drive as we went, because she got so snappy on that barrel. But that's the importance of easy in, hurry out. So whatever speed you go in, you want to come out a little faster. Go in slower and come out faster. And now here's where I would ask for the lead change, right at this point. The very first stride out, I'm going to step in my right stirrup or my outside stirrup. I'm going to give her a head and try to get back to 2 hands. And then as soon as I do, I'm going to use this left leg and my left hand to go ahead and pick her up and ask for that lead change. So with my weight in the right stirrup, and I just barely bump pinky and calf, she's going to swap that lead right there, as she did. So I'm already setting up my baby to be square and balanced before they even get to the halfway point. The reason why I want to do that is because if I wait until she gets to the barrel and she swaps her lead, let's say she swaps her lead, whoops, it went too far. If she swaps her lead when she gets there, you know, she's going to dump on that front end and get losing her butt, and it's just never as good feeling, and it doesn't teach them. Now, some people believe you can teach that as you go, okay, and a horse will just pick the correct lead because it feels better to them, and that is true. So when I compete I don't think about leads. I think about doing my job and let them do their job. Now, when I train, though, I'm a perfectionist. I want everything to be perfect. So I'm going to show them exactly at a walk, trot, and lope, exactly where I want them to be. So let's say you're doing your slow work. You haven't started loping the barrels yet. You want to know that they know their leads. And again, on her arc, I go from third to a gradual arc, and I give her about a horse length across. Because again, she's a very big mare, 16 hands at just barely 4 years old. All right, so I give her a nice arc. So let's say I was loping here, I would post trot here, and then I'd ask for that lead and lope out and post trot around the barrel. Or if I just wanted to work on lead change here, I might walk to the barrel, walk around it, and lope out on the left lead. So you can do it a couple ways. Post trot, and then sit jog, and then ask for the lead, lope out. And that's how I train for it. I want them to understand to give it to me right away. That's why that quiz I did about being able to go from a walk into a canter in 2 steps or a trot into a canter in 2 steps is important, because you want that lead change right there. So if you teach it at a walk, lope, trot, lope, and then an easy lope, fast lope, they'll start knowing this is where we change our lead, not dumping on the front end at the barrel. But I'm a stickler. I want everything perfect slow so that I don't have to think about what she's doing when I make a run. I just think about doing my job, riding to my arc, spot 1, spot 2, next barrel, spot 1, spot 2, next barrel. I look at spot 3 on horses that are rollbacky, and I ride to spot 3. But if I know I have a horse that's going to finish the barrel on their own and they're not going to cut me off, I'm not going to worry about spot 3 as much as when I getting my pivot spot and looking for my next barrel spot. So anyways, I hope that's helpful, and we're going to talk about that more on Thursday in live at noon. Thank you.